Welcome aboard Dinner at Dad's, the brand new YouTube page that teaches you how to cook like a king, better than Gordon Ramsay. No, but seriously, have you been struggling with your ribs, your smokables? I'm going to show you from A to Z how to start the fire, what I'm using. Everybody does it different, so leave your comments. Some people may not like the way I do it. That's okay. That gives me some algorithmic flow, gets the conversation starting. But today we're going to smoke some ribs. I'm going to throw some chicken on there too. I'm going to show you how I do it, and I'm going to show you how to start the fire and what I do with the ribs and the whole process. So let's go. So I like to start with a little bit of Royal Oak lump charcoal. I'm going to skip to this third one. Some Texas Post wood here, really good fire burning wood. It's got a good flavor. It's pretty mild. And then I like to sprinkle in a couple little of this rich nutty flavored southern pecan, and then some wood chips for, I don't know if I'll use them, but they're there to keep the smoke going. So altogether, I'm using all this stuff. You don't have to use all this. You could literally just use the lump charcoal, but I like a little flavor with my food, so that's kind of how I'm doing it. Okay, I've got my charcoal on my kettle burner, and there's a lot here. I'm overflowing. I know. You want a lot. You don't want to run out. I'll probably actually put more in there, because if you run out and you have to try to restart the fire down the road, and I've got 2 racks of ribs going on this baby, so I need plenty of fire. I don't need to run out. So don't be shy. The stuff's pretty cheap. It's like 17 bucks a bag, a big bag. You saw the bag. You can get it at Sam's Club. I think like Food Lion might sell it, or online. Amazon sells everything. We know this. All right, so next I have a couple fire starters. I'll probably just use one, maybe 2, but then I have 2 balls of paper. This is just paper from an old Amazon package. It doesn't matter. You don't really want to use newspaper. It does have, ink on it, and it could I don't have any proof, but it could potentially lead to some issues, and I don't want to tell you to do that. So just some paper, and you light this on fire, put it under the kettle burner, let that get going real nice and toasty, okay? I'll show you how it works. It's been about 10 minutes, and my fire is pretty hot in there. I threw a couple extra on top. As you see, it went down as it started to burn. So I'm going to take these, and I'm going to throw them in here, and you want to put it in the back. I like to put it on the right side, or as far away from the access point where the smoke goes through, just to make sure it doesn't get too hot inside of your grill. Plus, I want to add some, other wood and things like that. So I'm just going to dump it in there like so. All the way in the back. And then I'm going to throw a couple extra pieces on top. So that'll be good. And then I'm going to add some of my Texas Post oak and get this baby really going. And once I get it all kind of charred up, I will close the lid and get it to temp, and then we're ready to start smoking. So we'll go inside after this, and I'll show you what type of recipes I'm using. Now what you want to do is put this down here in the back, let it get real hot, because once you throw that on that fire, it'll light up a lot faster. Instead of potentially putting your fire out, you don't have to do this. This is kiln dried wood, but it does help kind of expedite the process a little bit, and I just learned that from somebody else, to be honest with you. So my oak's been drying out pretty good over here. I'm going to go ahead and throw that on there with the face down. Well, I'm just going to throw it on there like that, because that's the way it went. I'm going to put another one kind of on deck over here, and then I've got 3 pecans. I'm probably not going to put these pecans on for quite a while, because I want it to be about mid-cook, but I could just kind of put them over here in the corner where they're not going to catch immediately. We're going to let that just go for a little while. I'm going to go inside, and we're going to start prepping our meat, okay? So I've got 2 racks of ribs, and I have some chicken. I'm going to use honey mustard as a binder for 1 rack of the ribs, and then I will end it off, not yet, but once I take it out of the butcher paper, I will add some barbecue sauce for about the last hour of the smoking, and that will be for 1 set of ribs. The next set of ribs is going to be a dry rub. It's going to be this Fiesta blend brisket rub. It works really good on ribs too. This is all stuff that you can buy on Amazon or Sam's Club or wherever you grocery shop. It's pretty popular sauce. I don't know about the Meat Witch, but Meat Witch is very good. For the chicken, I'm going to do Japanese barbecue sauce. It has a teriyaki kind of flavor to it. So I'm gonna use that for my chicken. Okay. First thing we're gonna do for good luck is just spank your meat. It's good luck for just something I made up when I worked in the restaurant business. Okay. So we got our meat here. The first one I'm gonna do is probably this mustard binder on here. I'm not gonna hit it with anything but the honey mustard. So just a little binder here. Just lather it up nice and make sure you got your skin off of the back of your ribs too. You're going to get a lot more flavor taking that skin off. Some people don't take it off. I never understood that, but I like taking it off. So there's one in there. Just nice and easy. You don't have to go crazy with this stuff. Here's my other rack. I'm not going to use any oil or anything like that because these are pretty fatty ribs. And I'm just gonna hit this with the brisket seasoning like this, like so. Rub it in a little bit. Might get a little bit of that honey mustard on there. Boom, boom, boom. Bada bing. Stir it up a little bit. Yeah. Can't be shy on the seasoning because you move them around there. Some of the stuff falls off and give a nice smack. There you go. Now I got my chicken. Like I said, I'm going to use the Japanese barbecue sauce for this. So this stuff sometimes needs to be shaken up. Get some stuff stuck at the top. Give a nice shake there. All right. And I'm just going to kind of put a little bit in there. And this stuff can just kind of set. Lather it up a little bit. The chicken's probably going to go on last because it will take a little less time. But there's some fat cuts in there. You can poke it with holes and get the flavor down in there. But, I don't really do that. I don't think it really does much. But that's just me. All right. So now our meat is prepped. And let's go check on our fire and get it to temperature. So she's burning pretty good now. There's a chance that this probably won't go out now, this big lump of wood. This stuff's nice and ready down here. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and throw this other piece on. And this will catch real quick because it's been sitting in there. I'm going to let that go for probably another couple minutes. And then we're going to get our smoker to temp. And we'll be ready to get going. All right, these have caught pretty good now. So I'm just going to close this smoker. And we're going to let it get down to, we want it between 225 and 250. It's going to be real hot at first. But once that fire starts to diminish, it's going to get back down there. So this thing's going to skyrocket and probably be around, you just got to wait until it gets to temp. If you do it too early, you're just going to have dried out burnt ribs. So you don't want that. So once it gets to temp, like I said, between 225 and 260 is usually where I start them. And then once once the fire starts going down, I kind of do them a little slower and it'll start going down, 200, 180, somewhere around there. Also going to ride this thing completely open. I am in a kind of corner back here, so there's really no wind. You don't really want wind, but it is nice to have a little gust sometimes to keep the flame going. So some people are like real particular about it. They're like, quarter inch, whatever. So I'm just gonna let it ride completely open, like that. All right, we're right to temperature. We're a little bit above 250, but when I open this up, we're gonna lose some heat. So it's actually better to, work with it a little bit. So I'm gonna open this up, put my ribs on there, see if I have enough room for my chicken. I always put the fattest side towards the fire. That way it's kind of cooking the fat part first, smoking the fat part, whatever you want to say. These guys aren't being cooperative. All right, there we go. It's hard to hold a phone and do this at the same time. I'm not skilled yet, so bear with me. Yeah, actually I do have room for my chicken, so I'm going to grab my chicken. I'm just going to throw my chicken in the back. I know cross-contamination. It'll cook off, don't worry. Just relax. All right, so now I got my stuff going. I'll come back in a couple hours. Maybe I might have to move some coals around, but we should be good. I'll come back in a couple hours and probably wrap this meat in butcher paper and continue the process. I'm going for about a 4-hour smoke here, all right? Alrighty, we're going to do a little trick here. This has been going for a few hours now. Little thing I learned from a buddy of mine, these are spicy maple bourbon pickles. I'm just going to take some of this and drip it on there. Oh, yeah. And then for my, this one is my, what am I trying to say here? This one is my dry rub. And then I have my saucy one. And I'm going to put some sauce on this other one. And then we are going to let that go for probably another 30 minutes. And then I'm going to wrap these in butcher paper and finish it off. So, some of that. Bad boy. And yeah, we'll be back with the butcher paper. All right. But I definitely suggest getting some of those because they are good. Yummy. This here is the best butcher paper that you can use. Got it from a buddy of mine. He sent it to me. It is FDA approved. Okay. This is what you want. For the chicken, I'm going back to my Japanese barbecue sauce. I'm just going to put a little bit on there like that. Maybe a little extra. I'm going to double wrap it. Okay, I got my ribs off the grill, off the smoker. Now I am going to, oh man, they look so good. They're getting there. I'm going to set them on these papers. Try not to let them fall apart because they are getting tender. I'm going to wrap these up. I'm not going to wrap them on video because it makes a crunchy sound that you probably don't want to hear. Oh yeah, they are done. I literally ran it out all the way down to low and slow. Let's cut these babies up. All right, these puppies are ready. Cut them up. Oh, just delicious looking. So juicy. So juicy. Special thing here. We like to put a little bit of cilantro. It's a little trick. Cilantro on your smoked ribs is the best. All right, guys. Thanks so much. I would love if you would subscribe to our page. This is Dinner at Dad's. Woo!